Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of 5-Minute Gaming News, the show that, I told you so. Last week, when we were having our conversation about yoshi-p saying that JRPG is possibly an offensive term and he doesn't really like it that much, and I was like, look, I remember the days when people would mock JRPGs and call them lesser because it was anime nonsense and whatever, and a lot of the comments were like, I don't know. I always thought JRPGs were cool. Well, we weren't talking about that. We were talking about the industry as a whole. And over the weekend, we saw a lot of various footage of things like X-Play and various other outlets at the time that were like pretty much doing what I was saying. I think a lot of us forget that the early 2000s, that period, the internet was racist as shit. And while we're talking yoshi-p, in the news today, Square Enix has a shakeup because Yotsuke Matsuda, the president of Square Enix for the last 10 years, will be replaced pending approval at the company's annual shareholders meeting this June. In a statement, Square said the decision was made to reshape the management team with the goal of adopting ever-evolving technological innovations and maximizing on the creativity of the company's group. Matsuda was appointed in 2013 as part of a massive restructuring of Square Enix, his decade at the company being filled with extreme highs and extreme lows, ranging from the incredible success of Final Fantasy VII Remake and Final Fantasy XIV to the devastating release of pretty much everything else. He was also responsible for selling off Crystal Dynamics, Eidos Montreal, and Square Enix Montreal, as well as all of their related IP for the low sum of $300 million in favor of investments in the blockchain, AI, and NFTs. Regarding the sale, Square reiterated the transaction will assist the company in adapting to the changes underway in the global business environment by establishing a more efficient allocation of resources, which will enhance corporate value by accelerating growth in the company's core business in the digital entertainment domain. The transaction, blah, 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 all nonsense. And who will be Matsuda's replacement? Well, company director Takashi Kiryu, who has only been with Square Enix since 2020. And while many hope that this leadership change will result in moving away from NFTs and blockchain and all that garbage, according to interviews they've had lately about doubling down on all of this and the way they're talking about the transition, it seems like they're still going ahead with all of it. We will see, though. Hopefully some new blood at the top will be what the company needs to sort out all of their non-Final Fantasy issues. And we will see as both he and Final Fantasy XVI arrive roughly at the same time. In other news, if you're Steve Main in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, this next story is not going to make you happy. For those of you who have no idea what I just said, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, which is that competitive game your one roommate or friend always tries to get you to play just so they can body you, well, more and more tournaments are banning Steve, the Minecraft character, who they have long viewed as being broken and overpowered. But the recent reveal of a glitch that can give players the square-shaped upper hand is being deemed as the final straw for several tournaments. To quote Kotaku, in layperson terms, Steve has a glitch associated with his recoil animations that allows him to recover at a faster rate than other characters in the game, meaning he can break combos that should otherwise work with other characters and retaliate before his opponents can even act. And now you might rightfully be saying, but Jesse, couldn't Nintendo just patch this and fix the problem? And in a perfect world, yeah. But sadly, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate stopped receiving patches and updates as of December 2021. Additionally, since Nintendo refuses to involve themselves in Smash's competitive scene, and that's a whole other topic we've covered before, there is no officially yay or nay for the Minecraft menace. According to The Gamer, a statewide map of the US provided by Ultimate player and data analyst Bernard's Loop reveals several state tournament organizers have already banned Steve, including Kansas, Missouri, and Tennessee. Steve has been mostly banned in North Carolina tournaments and has received sub-regional bans in Florida, Iowa, South Dakota, Pennsylvania, Ohio, West Virginia, and California. Meanwhile, in the states where Steve is allowed, and I can't believe we're saying this because it sounds like we're talking about drugs, you're probably going to get some side-eye, which is how I look at all you Kirby players out there who just fly around the map and then drop like a rock and smash everyone. Pick a different strategy. I'm begging you. But enough Smash. It's time for your new releases. On Thursday, Fatal Frame Mask of the Lunar Eclipse finally receives its worldwide release after 15 years. The game originally debuted in 2008 for the Wii in Japan and now is being remastered across all platforms. Those of you unfamiliar with this amazing series and might need a little refresher, Fatal Frame is a survival horror game where players fight off ghosts by snapping photos. And here's the best part. 90% of those photos you snap are jump scares. It's amazing. But it does beg the question, is a selfie with a ghost cool or just plain creepy? Also releasing on the 9th is Oni Road to the Mightiest Oni. In order to build his strength, Kuta, the lone survivor of a massive battle, challenges the departed spirits of demon warriors on the island of Kisajima. Combat and trials are balanced with open-world exploration and interacting with a cast of unique characters, which is all packaged in a colorful, stylized, cel-shaded world. So if you're looking for something to tie you over until Link's return on May 12th, Oni might just be the game for you. And finally this week, Bleak Faith Forsaken. The mix between cyberpunk and dark fantasy Souls-like game is arriving for PC March 10th. In this third-person open-world RPG, players take the role of the Forsaken and are tasked with fighting and adapting in order to survive in a brutal world. Originally announced via Kickstarter in 2019, and after development delays due to COVID-19, it's finally releasing, so get ready to get your Souls-like on and hack your way into some havoc this weekend. And this is when I say, hey, if you're in London, come see me and the boys. We'll be at WASD. We're doing March 30th through April 1st. We have got 2 shows for Scary Game Squad. It's going to be a ton of fun. Love to see you there. For more details, click the link below. And I'll see you tomorrow for another episode of 5 Minute Gaming News.